Okay, so it's like this. I was hanging out with some friends, I was dressed like this, and I lacked the motivation to dress into my normal video attire. So you get overdressed me for this video, but if you have the opportunity to ever overdress for any given situation, I suggest you take it. Makes life a little fun. The Wolf Among Us Chapter 2, Smoke and Mirrors. So The Wolf Among Us Chapter 2 picks up where Chapter 1 left off, and I'm gonna have some spoilers in here for people who have not played Chapter 1. If you haven't played Chapter 1, I suggest you do that. Or if you're gonna watch this video, just know I'm gonna spoil some shit. So Chapter 1 ended, we saw Snow White's head on a porch, and we were all just like, or something like that. It's pretty much exactly like that. And now in Chapter 2, Bigby Wolf is determined. He's like, I'm gonna find out who's killing folks. Because Bigby Wolf hates a killer who takes head and doesn't give it. So now in Chapter 2, you're in full investigative mode, which makes Chapter 2 less exciting than Chapter 1. Chapter 1, you had a fight, you had a throwdown right out the gate, then you had a chase sequence, then you had another fight in a bar with Grendel. And this one is more investigative. You're asking questions, you have the opportunity to be a dick about it. You know, you can punch people, you can be bad cop, but really Chapter 2 is all about fleshing out Bigby Wolf's character in terms of how you want to play him. For one, I was like, I don't see a reason to be a douchebag. I don't want to be a dick. I want to be psychological. That's how I'm gonna get answers out of these people. Except for that one guy who owned the bar. I punched him and made him drop his boombox. Then I smashed his TV. I guess I was a little rude to him, but he was an asshole. Other than that, I was relatively more or less nice in this episode, which I like. I mean, Bigby's a sheriff, so you gotta do police work, investigative type shit, which I find really fascinating. You're piecing together clues, you're asking people questions. There is a fight that you get into in this episode, but it's not like Chapter 1. I mean, you're fighting Grendel in the bar in Chapter 1. I can go Quan Chi on his ass. I can rip his limbs off and beat him to death with it. I don't care. But in this episode, the fight that you get into, you look at him, you're like, I don't want to hurt you. I even gave the guy a couple of free hits because I felt like he needed it. That's the kind of guy Bigby Wolf is. He's nice like that. He'll give you hits on him if you really need it. All in all, The Wolf Among Us Chapter 2 is a good Chapter 2. I mean, Chapter 1's the introduction. You see how the game plays, you get into a couple of fights, you ask a few questions, you see how the overall mechanic is gonna work. Chapter 2 delves deeper into Bigby Wolf's character and it lets you make monumental character choices for him, which you feel like are gonna follow you throughout the game. I was impressed with The Wolf Among Us Chapter 2, and again, it ends off in one of those cliffhanger moments where you're like, holy shit, Chapter 3! I hope Chapter 3 isn't 3 months down the road like from Chapter 1 to 2 was. I need that shit now! Still impressed and still not going to rate the game up until the entire game is done. 5 chapters all in all, people. We're almost there. Kind of. Not really, though. Probably gonna be a year before they all come out. So The Wolf Among Us Chapter 2, Smoke and Mirrors. Have you played it? And what did you think about it? And were you good cop this time around, or were you still like, no, Bigby Wolf stands for Big Bad Wolf, and I'm gonna be a big bad douchebag? You can be a big bad asshole if you want. It's within your right to do so. Whatever you thought, however you played it, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.